Hi everybody, welcome to today's webinar about the AquaHacking Challenge in Atlantic Canada. We're really excited to have you here today and to share a bit of information about the challenge. My name is Emma Waddy. I'm the Director of Atlantic Water Network at St. Mary's University, and we're really proud to be the regional host for this year's challenge. So in case you aren't familiar, Atlantic Water Network is a regional organization. We work with organizations of 50 watershed groups and community partners around Atlantic Canada in all 4 Atlantic provinces. And we provide different types of resources and networking opportunities for these groups to learn from each other. Most of our resources are related to community water monitoring programs and to support, to enhance and build capacity for our community partners. So we provide information and actual equipment, we provide training and different data management solutions. One of which is our What Pro certification, which is an online certification for water quality monitoring. And then we also are the regional partner for Atlantic Data Stream, which is an online platform for water quality data. We also have a lot of strong national partnerships, which is what brought us to partner with the AquaHacking Challenge. So you might be wondering, what is the AquaHacking Challenge? So the challenge is very different and unique to compare to your typical hackathon. Instead of it being a weekend competition, it's actually 8 months long. There's also a lot of amazing mentorship and workshop opportunities for participants. And participants are encouraged to connect with end users. So each of the problem statements for this year's challenge have come directly from Atlantic Water Network partners who have addressed and brought up these concerns over the many years that the network's been around. So we're looking for innovative solutions that kind of turn into long-term ideas. So not just the idea, but the long-term solutions that groups can build upon and actually create a business to help solve these water issues. So at this point, I'm going to pass things over to Melissa, who's the AquaHacking who's with AquaHacking, and we'll be sharing a little bit more about the story behind the challenge.
Awesome, thanks Emma. My name is Melissa Dick. I'm the development officer, even I couldn't remember my title, development officer with AquaForum. So AquaForum is the organization behind AquaHacking. The AquaHacking Challenge is our flagship program. And so we work closely with our regional implementation partners, such as Atlantic Water Network, to deliver the Atlantic Canada AquaHacking Challenge, for example. So to give you a little bit of a background on the AquaHacking Challenge and where it came from. So it actually was founded in Quebec and grew its foundation throughout Ontario at the beginning. And so our first challenge ever was in 2015 in the Outaouais River Basin, and so near Ottawa, Gatineau. And so since then, there was one challenge per year taking place in a watershed throughout the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Basin. So we really had the opportunity to get to know our different recruitment hubs, universities, and engage young innovators in this area, and came up with some amazing solutions, and startups have been established from that. So since then, we have had the opportunity to now go across Canada. And so 2020 is the first year that the AquaHacking Challenge is brought outside of the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence River area. And we are now delivering 3 challenges this year in partnership with our regional partners. And so of course, the Atlantic Canada AquaHacking Challenge is being delivered by the Atlantic Water Network. And then at the same time, we also have a challenge taking place around Lake Winnipeg, so in Manitoba and the Prairies, and that's in partnership with the International Institute for Sustainable Development. And then out on the West Coast, we also have the British Columbia AquaHacking Challenge taking place in partnership with the Okanagan Basin Water Board. So this is to give you an idea that even though you're interested in the Atlantic Canada Challenge, which is awesome, and through your involvement with that challenge, you're also going to be gaining access to these communities of aquahackers, but then also the associated water experts and the business experts that are supporting those participants throughout Winnipeg and British Columbia, and of course the existing network we have here in Quebec and Ontario. So that's to give you a bit of an idea of the national scope of aquahacking, and we're super happy to be able to have this challenge in the Atlantic region in partnership with the Atlantic Water Network. I also want to give you a bit of a sneak peek at the AquaHacking alumni community. So when you get involved as an AquaHacking participant, you're also going to be involved as an alumni, as a member of the alumni community. And so even after participants finish the program, regardless of whether they make it to the semifinal or they make it all the way to the final and do that final pitch, you're still part of the alumni community. And so the really special thing about this community is that we have some people who went through the AquaHacking Challenge way back in 2015 and 2016, and they've gone through the experience, they've gone through the challenging parts, but also the successes of developing an innovative solution and establishing a startup. And so they are there as resources to help you in your journey through the AquaHacking Challenge. And another good thing is that aquahacking is quite well recognized in the water space. And so our alumni and our participants often get opportunities to be featured in the media or to be eligible to win other sorts of tech competitions. So we've had some alumni be featured in some like newspapers like the Globe and Mail and do interviews on TV. And so it's a pretty awesome opportunity to get that kind of visibility and exposure as a young innovator making an impact in the water space. And so that's to kind of give you a long game outlook on what it means to participate in the AquaHacking Challenge, and then to continue to benefit from that network and those resources as a member of the alumni community. To give you a little bit more information about some specific individuals that participated in past challenges and who've gone on to establish startups. We'll talk about 4 individuals. So in 2018, we had Hachem Adjili, who founded GeoSapien. And so his solution and his team is looking to address specifically the issue of flooding. And so they've developed some simulation software that helps people see the impacts of flooding on communities and buildings and infrastructure. And so that's something that actually at this time of the year in the spring, people are especially aware of. And so he's had success in bringing this solution to municipalities and different clients. So he, definitely a good success story from the AquaHacking Challenge. Then we also have from the 2017 challenge, founder Lauren Smith, co-founded Polygon Technologies. And so what she does with Polygon Technologies is identifies and eliminates microplastics in beverages. And so it's kind of a scary thing, but there are microplastics in some of our beverages. And so Lauren works specifically with like brewery companies and looks to identify any sources of microplastics in beer. And she's also working on developing a certification that beverage companies can put on their products and say microplastics free. And so that's some exciting work that Lauren is doing alongside Polygon Technologies. Then also in the 2017 challenge, Jason DeGlint was the founder of Blue Line Labs. So what Blue Line Labs does is they use artificial intelligence for monitoring and predicting harmful algae blooms. So this is an issue obviously that impacts many, many different lakes all throughout Canada. And one of the water issues actually for Atlantic Canada is also algae blooms and eutrophication. So we see how these water issues and the solutions, they have markets and they have demand in beyond the watershed where the challenge is taking place. And so that's a good example of how Jason is bringing his solution to many different places. And then finally, the 2015 challenge, the very first AquaHacking Challenge we had. Kat Kavanaugh was the winner, and she founded Water Rangers, which is all about bringing water quality testing to citizen scientists. And so she has these great kits that can be used by citizen scientists and students at schools, people who live near cottages and who are concerned about their water quality. And so they can do their own water quality testing and update the results to an online platform, which is then shared with the wider community. And yeah, she's just doing a great job. She's been able to broaden the amount of water testing that's happening across Canada, which has been really amazing to see as she continues to grow and develop. And then we'll also talk about Can Forecast. And so this is another startup that was established through the AquaHacking Challenge. This was the winning team in 2016. And here we have Naisan Saran, who was one of the co-founders. And what they developed was an artificial intelligence solution that predicts E. coli outbreaks on public beaches. And so helps municipalities manage decision-making around when to open or close beaches based on recreational water quality. And so it's amazing, Can Forecast and Naisan and her team, they have one achievement after the other. It's been really amazing to see how far they've been able to come since their experience with the AquaHacking Challenge in 2016. They're now working with 7 municipalities across Canada, one of which is Halifax Water. And so even though they were part of a challenge here in Quebec, they now are working with clients all the way out on the East Coast. So we're going to watch a little video from Naisan sharing more about her experience with aquahacking, and hopefully will inspire you to also get involved.
Everything that I've learned in the past 3 years, it would have taken me probably 20 years to learn it. Right now, I'm a different person, really. I think I've grown so much. It's definitely thanks to the aquahacking competition. I would have never had the opportunity to do that otherwise. The process of doing aquahacking was really life-changing for me and for everybody from our original team, really, because we learned so many things that we didn't know before, like how to pitch, how to build a business plan, design thinking. That's something I had never heard of. Now we're trying to implement this with customers. All of the different steps from the idea to prototyping to making sure there's a market fit for the solution, how to handle pressure when you have to pitch Dragon's Den style, like the final of the aquahacking. For somebody who's never done that, to go through this process, regardless of whether you win or not, is going to change your life somehow. Our second solution that we have developed afterwards, called IntelliPipes, we're basically telling municipal managers where to prioritize pipe replacements based on their data and artificial intelligence. Now we have 5 partners: Montreal, Rimouski, Gatineau, Halifax, Thunder Bay. It made us so proud to see that it was just an idea at the beginning of the aquahacking, and now see how many cities are on board with us and seeing the results. Canada, there is this amazing thing here. It's called innovation. Everything here is here to help you innovate. You have the aquahacking competitions like the aquahacking. You also have partners that we're currently working with, like MyTax, NRC. These partners, they basically help us connect you to university researchers. So to anyone that's considering registering to the aquahacking competition, on the fence, please, please, please apply, because you can never lose. You're only going to win. Everything that I've
Yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. My name's Evelyn Livingstone. I work with Atlantic Water Network as a program coordinator, and I'm also coordinating the AquaHacking Challenge in Atlantic Canada for 2020. So that was a really great video from Nisa and Sarah with Can Forecast, and they actually presented at our kickoff here in Halifax. So it was great to meet them and hear firsthand how they're working with Halifax Water on solutions in our area as well. So you've heard a bit of the history of aquahacking, the successes in different parts of Canada, and about Atlantic Water Network's work in the region. So again, we're very excited to be the regional host for this program. And in addition to working on important water issues, there are lots of great incentives that are made available through the aquahacking program. Not least of which is a sizable sum of money to help participants and winning teams kickstart their startups and solutions. So in total, there's $50,000 in cash prize money, broken down as follows among the top 5 winning teams. In addition to the $50,000 that's distributed amongst those, we help secure the winning teams a spot at a local startup incubator. The innovation and tech sector is growing very rapidly across Canada, including in the Atlantic provinces. And so securing spots in those incubators is becoming increasingly competitive. So that is a really great feature of the program that we're providing in the Atlantic provinces. In addition to the cash prizes and spotted in an incubator, as Melissa mentioned before, aquahacking provides support with promotion and media coverage, which is very important for new kind of emerging startups and entrepreneurs. And this year, for the first time, through a partnership with MyTax Canada, the winning teams have an opportunity to leverage their funding and can even double their winnings depending on the eligibility. So that is also a very great incentive, and we'll provide more information about that, and you can also see more on the website. So those are kind of the things that are up for grabs, but there are also additional benefits that don't come in the form of cash money or spot at an incubator, and so some of those are longer lasting. So learning how to make change and solve real water issues. Incredibly valuable is gaining access to this wide network of water champions and experts, and not just in water, but also business and technology, and not just through the Atlantic Challenge, but by tapping into that really strong and broad alumni network that we heard about a little bit earlier. So in terms of who can participate, we hope we've piqued your interest in the challenge so far, and the eligibility criteria for the AquaHacking Challenge are quite broad. So it says here that you have to be 18 to 35, but as long as participants are over the age of 18, then you're eligible to participate, in addition to some fine print that I'll go over shortly. But you don't have to be a tech expert, you don't have to be a computer whiz or a programmer or an expert in water science. So as long as you have an interest in helping solve those water issues, whether you're coming at it from an entrepreneurship or innovation angle, or you're just interested in starting a business that can make positive change, the AquaHacking Challenge in Atlantic Canada is open to you. So we accept people with backgrounds in anything, whether you're studying marketing, if you're a student or not. You can be a post-secondary student or a young professional between jobs. So it's really quite broad in terms of the eligibility for participation. So I've gone over a couple of these. In terms of team formation, so participants have to be part of a team, and that team has to have a minimum of 2 people. We recommend that the team not have more than 8, as it becomes a bit harder to manage time, but a minimum of 2. And there is some smaller fine print around the status of your organization, or if you've joined a company. So for instance, if you're part of an emerging startup, you can't have incorporated before the challenge period. So the challenge for the start period for the Atlantic AquaHacking Challenge started in October 2019. So if you incorporated before that, you're not eligible, but if it's fresher and since then you are. And so more information about eligibility criteria and kind of limitations is available at the URL that you see at the bottom of the screen here. So again, in terms of forming a team, I mentioned that participants can have a variety of backgrounds to participate in the AquaHacking Challenge. So the more what we have found, and what AquaHacking in past challenges has found, is that the more multidisciplinary the team, the higher the chance of success. So you want to have somebody who has a little bit of knowledge about water, potentially some people with an engineering or tech background who can think about some of the kind of the technology angles of the solutions, people who are interested in the business planning aspect of your startup, so that you have a well-rounded team. And I'll get into registration shortly, but there is matchmaking support provided to participants. So if you're interested in registering, but you don't have a team, then we'll provide support in helping you fill those skill sets that you need to form your dream team. And so to get started, what you would do is go to the HackWorks registration platform, create a profile, tell us and your potential teammates a little bit more about yourself, so what your background and areas of expertise are. And then through HackWorks, which is our implementation partner and a professional hackathon organization, what we'll do is help form your team. So Zenon is the HackWorks Participant Success Specialist, and that's where all of the magic will happen. So you could say, hey, I'm looking for somebody with a business background, or hey, I'm looking for a water scientist, and the HackWorks team will help secure your teammates. And so once you've registered, you've created your profile, you're looking for people to form your team. Another important step is selecting a water issue. So as Emma mentioned, the partners that Atlantic Water Network works with across the Atlantic provinces have their feet on the ground and a deep understanding of water issues across the provinces. And so that's both freshwater, but also kind of dipping into the marine environment as well. And so the Atlantic water issues that we're challenging participants to address and develop tech-based solutions for came from a call to our community partners and water sector more generally to look at what are the issues that could really benefit from a tech-based solution and where there's a gap that needs to be filled. And so the issues for the Atlantic Challenge are the ones that you see on the screen here. And so algal blooms and eutrophication is led by our community partner. The water issue leader is Roxanne McKinnon with ACAP St. John. We have sediment and pesticide runoff, and the water issue leaders for those are based in Prince Edward Island, Angela Banks and Mary Finch with the PEI Watershed Alliance. The third issue is treatment of drinking water in rural and First Nations communities, and the water issue leaders for that problem are Stephanie Gora with the Center for Water Resources Studies at Dalhousie University, as well as Mike Chalk with CBCL Limited. Then we have private well safety, and so the water issues for that one are Gavin Kennedy with Nova Scotia Energy and Mines and Gordon Check with Nova Scotia Environment, so provincial departments. And then for microplastics, the lead, and I should mention specifically for microplastics, it's from fishing gears. That is a very broad issue. And the water issue leader for that is Ariel Smith, working with Coastal Action, again here in Nova Scotia. So to participate, you would have to choose only one of these 5 issues to work on throughout the duration of the challenge. If you're interested in learning more about those water issues and connecting with those issue leaders, then we are very excited about a few upcoming events that we have. So the Ask Me Anything sessions will provide an opportunity for you to connect directly with the experts that are backing each of those issues. So you can ask them specific questions. They'll provide a bit of context and information about the data behind those issues. And they'll also be accompanied by alumni from winning teams from previous AquaHacking challenges. So it's a really great opportunity to just talk one-on-one with people who have experience both locally with those issues and with people who have who've made it through the AquaHacking Challenge in previous editions. And there's always a chance that you'll meet potential teammates if you don't have a team already. Okay, and so those Ask Me Anything sessions will be taking place from April 27th to May 1st. I'll send you more information about those. But in the meantime, the challenge is still running. So I just want to draw your attention to this date here. Registration cuts off on May 15th. So if you're interested in participating, make sure you register before that date. That's a little bit less than a month out now. And then otherwise, we're in phase 1 here of the challenge. So people are still registering, forming their teams, choosing the water issues, starting to develop their concepts and ideas for their solutions. And that will be running up until the semifinal, which is taking place in mid-June. So teams have access to mentorship from experts with different backgrounds and also access to workshops and training and that type of thing. So a lot of support is provided to help you succeed at the semifinal. The semifinal is broken into 2 days. So day 1 will be the pitching and judging event, followed by the public announcement. And so that's where the top 5 finalist teams will be announced. And we'll be providing more information about the format for that virtual semifinal in the weeks to come. So then after the semifinal and the top 5 teams have been announced, the challenge will be in phase 2. And in phase 2, teams will be, each team will be given a $2,000 bursary to spend as needed to develop their solution. And so that could involve training, certification in anything. It could be in design and prototype development. It could be in getting some help with coding and that type of thing. So it's really at the team's discretion based on the solution that they're proposing. So actually, and another event that we're very excited about, while teams are continuing to refine and ideate their solutions, is a virtual e-expedition, we're calling it. And so that's an online leadership retreat led by Waterlution, our implementation partner, and they've led these in the past. They're highly successful and very useful for the participants. So you can connect with other teams, see what they're working on, develop your leadership skills, so building both hard and soft skills in that type of thing, and connect with local water stakeholders to really learn more about the importance of the issues and how to meet community needs through your solutions. So more information and details about that will be shared in the coming months. And then the final, so everything will culminate with the Dragon's Den or Shark Tank style final, and that's happening September 18th, again online, and that's the final pitching session. So teams will be prepped to present their solutions to judges with backgrounds in water, tech, and business, and then the prizes will be ranked according to the strength of the team's pitch. So that's an event that we're definitely looking forward to. And then following that, even though the prizes will be announced, the challenge will continue to support the winning teams. So as I mentioned before, teams are helped in securing spot at a startup incubator and then gain access to that really strong alumni network that we mentioned before. So it sounds like there are a lot of different moving pieces with the AquaHacking Challenge, but we provide as many supports as we can to the teams to ensure that it's a successful and meaningful experience for them. And so, as I mentioned before, lots of workshop, round-the-clock mentorship with experts with different backgrounds. And so on this slide, you can see a number of the resources that we provide to learn more about the water issues before you get involved. And while you're working on your challenge, you can check out the webinars that those water issue leaders have prepared. Also a series of on-demand workshops to help provide training in things like design thinking. If you're thinking of using artificial intelligence and machine learning as part of your solution, you can watch and participate in a workshop on machine learning provided by IBM. And there's also training through the Perfect Pitch webinar as well. And information about all of those workshops is available once you register through the Hackworks platform. So in terms of preparing for the semifinal that will be coming up in June, these are the kind of the high-level judging criteria that your solution will be assessed on. So what is the business potential of the solution? What is the water issue efficacy? So what community need are you meeting? And will this tech-based solution be accessible and affordable for the groups that will be using it? So in other words, the end users. The technical feasibility and functionality, it is a tech competition, so is it actually realistic? And of course the degree of innovation. So is it filling a gap? Is it new and innovative? And more information about those judging criteria is available on the website. So we've given you a lot of information. I just kind of want to recap how you can get started if you're interested in participating in the AquaHacking Challenge. So you would register online at the URL provided on this slide. The cutoff again is May 15th, so you want to sign up before then. Start forming your team, pick your water issue. You can watch those webinars to learn more about them. If you're on the fence, attend those Ask Me Anything webinar sessions that I mentioned before. You can ask the water issue leaders more detailed questions about the issues. To help you decide which one you want to work on, and then you're off to the races and you can start developing your solutions. So I just also want to thank our academic partners. We're working with academic institutions across all of the Atlantic provinces and are very grateful for their support and participation. Our national financial partners who have made the AquaHacking Challenge possible in Atlantic Canada, as well as our local financial partners and supporters. So with that, we'll just turn it over to questions. So if you have any, please feel free to drop them in the chat box, and we'll also be sharing information about this webinar out with you following. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.